government, but Shikha Mukherjee, many will say Mamata Banerjee is being hoisted by her own petard. When she was in the opposition, she would take out the left, she would hit the streets. Now the BJP is doing it. Has this become part of the political culture in a way of Bengal, this violence, which tragically, as I said, has led to a policeman today losing his eye? And none of the politicians are showing any empathy for that poor policeman, because it's all about how do you bring down a government.
Yeah, you're right, Rajdeep. This is the politics of confrontation, political confrontation. The politics and political confrontation began from yesterday. It is because this organization which said it would hold a peaceful demonstration turned violent. Now, this organization itself is rather dubious.
Is it a BJP organization? Let's cut the chase. Is it a BJP? Was yesterday's protest organized by the BJP or not?
Yes, because they had a press conference a day before that, and they said that we are the people who called for the demonstrations yesterday said that we are members of the BJP and the RSS. So there's no sort of ambiguity on who they were.
And what do they gain? What do you believe the BJP gains from this?
What the BJP gains from it is that as soon as the protest turned violent, which was anticipated, I anticipated it. Most of us journalists anticipated that this would happen, because Naban Obhijan means you're hitting the headquarters of the state government. Obviously, there's going to be there's violence. And 1993. Let's go back to 1993. Mamata Banerjee hit the streets. She was heading for writers' building, and there was violence. Yes.
So is that violence now, unfortunately, a part of the culture of Bengal?
Well, from 1993 and even earlier, yes, it has always been so, and it will be so. I remember this. I don't remember seeing it, but I know of Jyoti Basu gheraying the assembly and trying to clamber over the gates. So, yes, this is part of the political violence.
Okay, let me bring in Sanju Verma again, because Sanju Verma, the BJP has it by doing what you're doing. There are pictures there of Shuvendu Adhikari. He's hitting the street every day. Shukanto Majumdar. Are you losing the moral high ground? What started, as Kunal Sarkar says, as a genuine organic protest of civil society is being hijacked by the BJP because you lost the elections, according to the TMC, and therefore are doing whatever it takes to somehow or the other bring the government down. How do you respond? Have you taken over an organic protest of civil society, ma'am?
Now I will answer, and please allow me the time. First and foremost, since 2014, since the time Narendra Modi came to power, there is an entire ecosystem. And with no offense to Rajdeep Sardesai, he is the famous TV anchor of a famous news channel. हर वक्त मुझे यही सुनने को मिलता है, हवा बदल रही है, हवा बदल रही है. If Rahul Gandhi protests, that's his fundamental right. हवा बदल रही है मोदी के खिलाफ. If Himanta Biswa Sarma protests, क्यों किया? If Yogi Adityanath protests, क्यों किया? If Tripura में जहां बीजेपी की सरकार है, if we start asking questions as to why the opposition in Tripura is engaging in hooliganism, which is what they did prior to the February 2023 assembly elections, we were said, why are you clamping down on dissent? Dissent and dialogue are the oxygens of democracy, wrote Sagarika Ghosh in an op-ed column in 2020 December.
There is no place for violence. I hope you agree with that. Dissent does not involve violence. 1 minute, ma'am. Dissent, you have every right. Do you have a right to be violent?
Don't. I will finish. I will not misquote you. Protest is a way to strengthen the democratic system. Protest is not something that weakens our democratic system. The entire cabal of op-ed writers, the entire cabal of YouTube influencers, the entire cabal which has been...
But when farmers protested, you call them Khalistanis. When farmers protest, you call them Khalistanis. JNU students protest peacefully, you call them anti-national. And if I suggest that dissent can't be protest...
Are you a panelist? Can I finish, Rajdeep?
Ma'am, please answer.
I will answer. Can you stop heckling?
Yeah,
thank you. Yes. Rajdeep Sardesai, you gave a disclaimer. Now stop being the husband of Sagarika.
No. That you can say. I'm asking you a straight question. You don't like my question.
Change. Yes. answering. I want to ask you one thing, Rajdeep. With a hand on your heart, you tell me. I have done difficult shows on your channel. And I know that you are a difficult anchor, but I always come on your shows because I expect you to be fair. Sometimes I'm disappointed, sometimes I'm not. When there's a problem in Uttar Pradesh, you ask Sanju Verma, will Yogi Adityanath resign? When there was a problem in Manipur, you ask Sanju Verma, will the Manipur Chief Minister resign? When there's a problem in Assam, you ask Sanju Verma, will Himanta Biswa Sarma resign? हिम्मत है तो एक बार सिर्फ टीएमसी
Shashi Panja, answer that. Okay, you made a good question. Let me take that directly, ma'am. Directly. Don't worry. Ma'am, don't worry. हम किसी से डरते नहीं. Shashi Panja. No, one minute, ma'am. Now you must let me ask Shashi Panja. She's listened quietly. Shashi Panja, Sanju Verma says, when Manipur, there is violence that results in more than 200 people dead over 13 months, you all want Biren Singh to resign. If there is a rape and murder in Hathras, you want Yogi Adityanath to resign. Now there's been a rape and murder in a government college, a college where you were a doctor, you were trained as a doctor. Mamata Banerjee, Health Minister, Home Minister, should she resign? According to the BJP, you can't have different rules. They want the Chief Minister to resign.
Rajdeep, I think we need to be a little bit more civil in this discussion, and primarily we should not digress from the very fact that the investigation is on and we are waiting for the culprits to be held. Today this so-called 12-hour bandh, which BJP declared, during this so-called bandh which they had announced, and there was again hooliganism, there was also a very civil rally protests held by the junior doctors, in which they are demanding justice from CBI. They are waiting for the outcome of the investigation. Rajdeep, for us, we are deeply anguished by this incident. Today, Mamata Banerjee announced, and on 2nd of September, a special session of the West Bengal Legislative Assembly will be called because we want to introduce the death penalty as a to be swift.
Ma'am, but the state government can't do that. Ma'am, with due regard, that has to be done. No, 1 minute. Shashi Panja, a law on capital punishment for rape cannot be brought in by a state assembly. It has to be brought in at the center.
We are talking of a reforms first approach.
So bring it in parliament.
Reforms first approach, and this is why. And this, parliament should do it. Can you recall, Rajdeep, there were times when the parliament was not in session, ordinances were brought in because it was not in session. Well, they could do it. And for this very similar reason, Honorable Chief Minister wrote to the Honorable Prime Minister that we have to have swift action.
Law and order is a state subject.
Should also be swift. If Sanhita, may I speak?
Okay,
I have not said a word.
Sanju Verma, she showed you the courtesy of not interfering with you, ma'am.
Please keep quiet. I didn't butt in.
I will not keep quiet.
We've had very harsh experiences with
Ma'am, both of you are.
Because
Ma'am, Sanju Verma, you cannot. She's been very quiet. She listened to you patiently. Shashi Panja, I ask you again. How is a state assembly saying there should be death penalty for rape? That's for the judiciary and for parliament to decide. It can't be done in a state assembly. You're simply trying to get back the lost narrative.
Try to understand. No. Try to understand that the death penalty is there, but we are looking for swift action. There have to be timelines, and that we can always introduce.
Okay.
Aren't the resident doctors also asking for timelines?
Let me ask that to Dr. Kunal Sarkar.
You cannot have an incident like Nirbhaya, and 8 years it took to bring justice to Nirbhaya.
Let me ask that to Kunal
Sarkar.
Sarkar.
Speedy action.
Yeah, okay, you made your point, ma'am. Kunal Sarkar, the truth of the matter is there is an investigation. Lost in this din is the fact that the CBI, I had a top lawyer 2 days ago who said this seems a open and shut case. The DNA is matching. The CBI can easily file a charge sheet at the very earliest. Is that what the doctors want at the end? When you say justice, if the culprit has been caught, the right accused has been caught, is that the first step to ensure what you call normalcy? Is that what you mean by justice?
Rajdeep, one part of the quest for justice is, of course, that. The other part of the quest for justice is to make the working environment for the doctors safe and sensible. Some cleansing has to happen in the West Bengal Health Service Administration. There has been a lot of extraneous influences.
Shashi Panja, will that happen? Shashi Panja, here is a Kolkata top cardiologist, Dr. Sarkar, saying clean up the system. You don't clean it up. Absolutely. Then you have no right to govern.
Yes. No. Have we ever said that we are a perfect government? We know.
Will you
We
clean
also
up the
have
system?
our imperfections, and I think this has to be corrected. We are not defending. Yes, we will. I know what Dr. Sarkar is trying to indicate, and we are aware of this, and this kind of corruption, etc., cannot take place. In fact, for that matter, CBI has been questioning the former principal, and why should there be so many economic irregularities and such
Yes, but
irregularities?
it didn't take a rape and murder for you all to wake up to what was happening in the RG Car hospital. That is where the government also is suffering today from a credibility deficit.
Rajdeep,
the truth of the matter is the investigation is one part.
Rajdeep, don't put it that way.
Okay, no, well, there is no other way to put it, ma'am, at the moment. I'm being
Don't put
blunt.
it that way.
I'm being
That would be
direct.
very
That's the only way to put it. But I do hope that is the focus. Clean up the system and ensure that that the culprit is given swift punishment. Once you do that, then you can claim that you've restored an element of credibility. And for the BJP, the message is clear. Hitting the street and then injuring a police officer who loses his eye is hooliganism. That should not be acceptable. So both the parties in their own way hopefully will introspect as to what they've done wrong. Because we the people only want a better... Ma'am, just a minute. I'm just...
Proof it was BJP which injured the policeman.
So you're saying, okay.
For God's sake.
Okay, the student protesters had nothing to do. Okay. Your point is student protesters had nothing to do with the BJP. Okay, fair enough.
Don't make allegations like a TMC spokesperson.
Okay, ma'am, that's your argument.